All right, we seem to be getting some visuals from Tilak Marg. This is Arvind Kejriwal, who has just reached the Tilak Marg voting booth. These are visuals that are coming in from the news wire agency ANI. We are seeing that Arvind Kejriwal has just reached. He's going inside that polling center. He's being accompanied by a lot of supporters. As we talk more about that, just before we actually get into that, Nalini, I want to get in a word from you, Professor Vishwanath. That reaction that we were playing, of Shashi Tharoor, he's all set, or at least wants to be the second-time MP from Thiruvananthapuram. The big question is, how realistic are his chances of becoming a two-time MP?
Let me put it this way. I think you've got to make a difference between North and South. When I see the politicians in Delhi, they look vacant. They almost act as if they're defeated. Tharoor at least looks as if he can pull off an act of confidence.
Okay.
And two, he sort of gives the usual social science statistics about high voter turnout helping him. To a certain extent, he seems to be full of exclamation marks. The question marks are in the background. So to a certain extent,
Very profound.
Yeah, I think he feels he's almost home. But you can't see it with the rest of them. If you look at the body language and speech, even the Nitin Gadkari, the way he talks of the broom as if it was an epidemic that swept all of them, and the epidemic is over. I think if you look at body language and speech, it shows a different kind of event from the other things. In that sense, Shashi Tharoor might be the most dynamic presentation so far among politicians.
But I think one should add that he has a huge, huge challenge in what the LDF is putting up against him. Achyutanand, the tallest leader of the LDF, and 90, but he is raising many questions, as Professor Vishwanathan has hinted, also about some unfinished investigations on Mr. Tharoor.
Nalini, a word about this man on your screen right now.
Yeah,
Arvind Kejriwal.
You would use the adjective the elusive mind of Arvind Kejriwal, and I would not say it's elusive at all. It's a very transparent mind. He wants power, so it's actually a mind that wants power. And
he would turn around and say that I gave up the seat of chief minister in order
to at that time, the if I may say, delusion was that he could be prime minister. So chief minister you give up to become
all right, Nalini, cutting you short, I'm sorry. We are getting visuals of Rahul Gandhi actually going inside the polling center. This is Tughlaq Lane, very close to his residence. He's now going inside that polling center. On the 4th of December 2013, we actually saw Rahul Gandhi speaking to a gentleman right behind him for close to 20 minutes. This time around, he has decided to go straight inside that polling center. There doesn't seem to be that usual line that we saw last time around in the state assembly elections. Rahul Gandhi inside that polling center. We'll see if we can speak to one of our reporters live from outside that location. But the Congress vice president, would he be a nervous man today? Because there is speculation that his party is not going to do well. Now, Tavleen, how do you look at, I asked you the question about Sonia Gandhi, what would you predict must be going on in her mind? Let me put that question in context of Rahul Gandhi.
He's more impervious to these things, I think. She's a little bit more sensitive about it. By the way, that's my polling booth, so you're going to let me go and do my thing. No, I think that he, that's actually quite remarkable about him, because even after, rejection after rejection, he tends to take it on the chin. So, I don't know what he'd be thinking. I don't think that he's that sensitive to these things.
Okay. Nalini, how do you look at Rahul Gandhi as a person, number one? How is he steering his political party, and what are going to be the political fortunes of the Congress party in 2014?
That's several questions. I think how is he? What is he thinking? What kind of a person is he? I think that he has been coddled. It's not as if he was. Everybody knows that his upbringing was something which was very protected. Now that he has come to, maybe he has been thrown into the public. I think still, Sanket, that it's a very odd output that's coming out.
Let's put it this way, Nalini. The body language of this man right now.
I think the body language is that of somebody who knows he's extremely famous, extremely entitled, and so he's making a nod, but I wouldn't say it's the body language of a victor.
Okay. Professor Vishwanathan, do you agree with that assessment?
Yes, I think she's been very polite. I sort of looked at and felt a sense of arrested growth.
Okay, that's a strong statement. Tavleen, as far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned, of course, within his own party, it seems there is a lot of expectations from him. There is this whole ad campaign.
Is there? I don't know who you've been meeting.
Okay.
Let's be truthful here. It was
Who
just
have
us.
you met? Who have you met?
I've met
who is
many,
not hopeful of Rahul Gandhi steering them
I've met very
into
few
it?
people who are hopeful, except for the little coterie, because he's been very inaccessible to his own party, and that's one of the problems. I think that he surrounded himself by too many computers and too many computer whiz kids and too many people he thinks are very educated and can work this out on a computer. Elections are not won on computers, and his reaching out to coolies and fishermen and to the Aam Aadmi in recent weeks is probably because somebody said to him, you know, you've got to be out there. You've got to reach out to real people. And in his own party, I've met many people who really have been in despair over how inaccessible he's been to them.
A lot of things, Professor Vishwanathan, that Rahul Gandhi has done, say for instance, you know, introducing the concept of primaries. I mean, a lot of Congress candidates in private feel
you don't
that
do
this
it
is the
overnight.
worst thing that could have happened to them.
Look, but you can't do it overnight. You need a system.
It's textbook stuff, but sort of done like instant politics. I think it needs a vision, it needs a certain sense of time. But look at the words used: impervious, indifferent. It's almost as if he's a little cocoon child. So to me, the most fascinating thing would be the despair of intelligent congressmen. I assume there's still some left.
But yeah, I would say that I'm going to make a prediction that whatever the outcome, and more or less I mean I do agree with whatever my panelists, co-panelists are saying, that his Rahul Gandhi's mysterious disappearances from the political scene, from whatever scene, will not they will be absolutely, it will not abate. These disappearances.
What incident are you talking about?
You know, when he's suddenly not in public life. I mean, suddenly he's out of the public gaze. Where is he? We don't know. Now, a vice president of the oldest party in the country, one that is making another bid for power, a third bid for power, we cannot have somebody not commenting on this. Where does he go? He disappears from time to time. To be fair to him, he hasn't disappeared over the last, let's say 2 or 3 months. But otherwise, we don't know. We live in Delhi, so we don't know. And of course, there are security reasons for which ordinary mortals like us must never know.
A lot of rallies that have been going on through the country. His attack, do you feel, has become more direct? He started off by saying that I want to practice positive politics. This is what he told reporters when he became the vice president.
But you know, I think it's a very vicious and bitter campaign, and Rahul Gandhi has also been swept in that rhetoric. Today's paper says that he said yesterday that Modi aayega to tukde kar dega. Now, you know that it will be the country or somebody else is going to be chopped into pieces. Now, how much more vicious can you get? This is the vice president of a party. I'm sure that he was also swept away, but it doesn't work like this.
We'll try getting more live reports in just a short moment. Time now for a short break, but this is the big update at this moment. Rahul Gandhi has exercised his franchise about 20 minutes after Sonia Gandhi was there at Nirman Bhavan.